Hello, everyone. This is Brandon from EDAW'S End, and for the first time ever in human history, a connected phone call between an Aussie and a New Yorkan, or a Yorkster, as I like to call him, and a person from the Pacific Northwest. I have Jackson from Hollow Bodies 13, and I have Ryan T. from the Chapel Fire. Say hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Howdy.
Good morning. What the audience doesn't know is this is prep for Jackson to do interview language so that he can get his next big fancy job. That is all this is going to be for the next hour, and I hope that that's okay with everybody.
Hopefully it doesn't ruin my interview chances. Let's, fingers crossed.
Well, I mean, I hope not.
Try not to be too unhinged.
Yeah, it'll be fine. We'll be good. We got to stay positive around here. I just came back from a protest, the April 5th protest, for everybody in America to voice their opinion. Everybody knows that listens to this podcast, or the few that don't, or the quite a few that don't listen to this podcast. I can say that, this is definitely a political podcast first, and then miniature and art in a close second. I came back from my protest. Obviously, didn't put on enough suntan, Martin? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And it the brains out there a little bit. It was hottest today that it's been hotter today than it's been in quite some time, because in PNW it rains all the time, or it'll be like a sunny 50. This was like 65. That was like
60. How did you survive 65?
I don't
Jeez.
know what I could do. Clearly, Australia doesn't have any issues with
I was going to say hot weather supremacy
or hot
yeah,
weather.
exactly.
Yeah, that's depressing. I don't even want
Everyone
to
was holding it over me. Yeah, everyone was holding
like
over me.
39 out there right now, something like that, and foggy as hell.
Ryan, where are you from?
I'm from upstate New York, like up in the Catskills, way up in the middle of nowhere.
Catskills.
I'm going to say I don't know what that is.
It's
the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh shit, that's badass.
I
didn't even know that, and I have not spent a whole lot of time on the East Coast, and I definitely haven't been up to New York. But I thought that this would be
tremendously
good.
Beautiful up here.
And I also am in a state right now that is safe from even more tyranny.
Hell yeah.
Over here in the PNW, I fucking love it here. It's going to take a lot to get me out of this state.
It's crazy out there, too. Really beautiful. I'd love to visit.
Maybe a civil war might, but anyways, the reason why I got everybody together today is because I wanted to take somebody that is outside of the hobby. Ryan, you and I talked whenever I had first made my communion Jesus piece, and I put your music to it, and then we got to talk.
Beautiful piece, by the way.
Thank you. And you don't really, as far as tabletop games goes, we talked about before, you don't really know too much about the hobby whatsoever, right?
No, you like roll your dice and do weird magic shit, and that's about it.
Weird magic shit. That is
90%
honestly,
of it
that
done.
is the description.
90% of it done. Yeah.
The first game that I write will have that line in it.
Weird magic shit.
And I'm looking to do one soon. But
awesome.
And I have Jackson here, who was probably one of the first people I ever FaceTimed in the middle of the night while I was drinking or doing something, and me and him just talked for hours and hours. Or it felt like hours and hours. It was delightful.
It felt like hours and hours.
He was just
it was great.
Instantly a fucking teddy bear. He's just a goddamn. He's like a sugar bear. That fucking smile.
It gets people, man. It gets people.
It's
the Australian accent.
Just like
you guys are a sucker for the
it's
accent.
Dangerous.
Yeah,
for sure.
I realized the power of the accent when I was in the States recently. I was like, it would get me through a lot of things. Like, I was just at Adepticon last week, and I rocked up to security. Like, there's a sign like here in front of my face that says "No outside food." I've got 2 bags of food. The woman at the security was like, "Can you not read the sign?" I was like, "Well, no one's explained it to me." And I'm like, "Are you really going to stop me now? I've got all the food." And she's like, "Just go ahead. Just like."
She instantly is
like, "I'm not even dealing with this." Yeah.
Sir, if you keep on talking, my clothes will come off.
Yeah. She was like,
keep
"This guy."
moving.
I was just like, "Come on, you can't." Like, I've got the food here already. And she's like,
"I've done plenty of jobs like that. Like, sometimes it's not worth it. Sometimes you just gotta let the miscreant through."
Like
if they work that hard,
and I was not at all being abrasive. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really. I don't know. I had a similar situation where somebody tried to tell me to move today. There was an event organizer, and they're like, "Hey, you can't sit there." And I said, "Yes, I can." And they were like, "No, you don't understand. It's just a liability if you fall off." I was like, "I'm not moving. You can make me, but you won't." So I just kept on going about my day. So it's just kind of like, at that point, she was probably just like, "I fucking give up."
Yeah, I'm not dealing with this guy. If he falls off this thing, I don't care. And like, America is so litigious compared to Australia. This was the conversation I was having. Like, there's just, it's crazy. Like, I'm going to start ranting, so you can tell me to stop if you want me to stop. But
no, this is what I want.
The contrast between Australia and America was always large. And this was not like my first trip to America. This is like my 8th trip that I just came back from. But like from like 2002 was my first trip to now. So that's however many years that is. The way it's changed and like the landscape and the way, like we were in a car park and these people were just walking in front of the car. And I had American friends in the car. I was like, what are they doing? They're like, well, if you hit them, you're at fault. And I'm like, huh? What are you talking? Like in Australia, you stop, you look at the person that's driving, you both sort of like do this like, I'm good, you're good. You give the old, and then you walk. And then America's just like straight across the crossing. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was going to talk about the differences too. Really, we could turn this episode into 6 hours long, and we're just going to discover each other. We're going to
Look, we can cross the boundaries.
Just jump right in.
Yeah.
I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we all signed a no boundary clause before we went in here.
I think so.
Yeah,
well, that's a point I kind of wanted to make. I work in education. I work with special needs kids. And so having to figure out how to get them to do things without coercion and without, you can't make them, but you have to make them.
Yeah.
So like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
And there's ways, but it's always a challenge. And that's, and
so thank you very much for doing that job. Because I imagine that's a very thankless job.
I like it, but it is very challenging. Yeah, for sure.
Challenging is probably a better word.
Within that being said, Ryan, I'm sorry, Jackson, I'm not trying to...
No, go for it.
Have you been hearing anything about your job coming down with the bullshit going on with Trump?
Oh, good Lord. I would probably be the last to know, judging by the way... I'm going to hold my tongue. But the people I work for are interesting.
Fair.
An organization that, But I'd probably be the last to know.
There's a special type of person that starts defunding education, right? And especially that sort of education. Like, not only are you talking about, like, children, you're talking about children with special needs and that need even more attention and more help. Yeah. And being a kid is hard enough. Yeah.
And it's not their fault. They got put in some crappy circumstances. Like, they deserve an equal shot. Just like everyone else has, like you think.
Whenever you got people out there that make the news because they say, well, we should take all of these children, whether they be autistic or have some difficulties, we should just put them all to death. Like there's a conservative voice that said that on TikTok. Or they shouldn't exist. Insane. It should just happen on the... And,
Yeah, right.
I've been mostly to Europe, and I got to go to Morocco and Africa, but and parts of the Middle East, all over. But I would see how Italians like love their heritage, they love their flags, and throwing it out there. They've had their past problems, maybe a little bit Nazi, fucking fascist, piece of shit. Some of his family are still in the government. That's fucked up. Anyways.
Doesn't surprise me.
Anytime I see an American, anywhere I go, see like an American flag on multiple, just like all over the fucking place, it makes me want to fucking put my head through the wall. It hurt. It truly does. It sucks.
Take that it's not the American flag. I'd say what it represents now doesn't probably represent patriot. Like, it's capitalism now. I think the American flag is.
Oh, it's definitely a logo. Yeah. It's definitely like a brand logo.
Yes, it's a brand. It's been commoditized to be a logo and to be like if you believe in this thing, like you're believing in this American view or this American worldview, which is
That's why it's been
back to
ruined,
the education part. Yeah, it's odd. Odd is the wrong word, and I don't want people to hate me for this statement.
No, that's fine.
I'll say the education system in America doesn't teach you about the rest of the world, which is really odd.
No.
Like, we spend our whole education system learning about everyone else. And like, we have a bunch of knowledge about stuff. And then I've had conversations with people from America and they've been like, oh, you all ride kangaroos down there, right? I'm like, yes. And like, I actually thought they were taking the piss for the first time. Like, and then I was like, oh, okay, you guys actually think that's what Australia's like. Like, it's
Jackson, I can tell you right now that all of my schooling, whenever I was a kid, all I remember is how it would come back to the United States and how good the United States was. It's propaganda.
Yes.
And how our foreign policy was so beneficial to them.
Yeah. Oh, how it was so great for them.
Helped everyone else. Yeah.
And that's the reason. And the reason why we're the saviors and that we got this God complex.
Absolutely.
It's no surprise that Christianity would have a a pull in that too. I don't know if either of you are
Don't get me
religious.
started
but,
on that, brother.
Okay.
I was going to say
now we're getting into it, baby.
the name probably lends itself to it. But I think Brandon, you and I were talking about the connection between church and state, or country and religion in America is so different to Australia. And Ryan, like, it's very odd. Like, we have religious people in Australia, right? Like, don't get me wrong, but we don't have that like ingrained.
It's not.
Connection.
It's completely interwoven.
Well, buddy, it
Yes.
hasn't been boiling in your system like a fucking bolognese from fucking Italy. It's not been sitting there for fucking ever.
And I think
Man,
we were discussing. There's an Australian movie called Bad Boy Bubby that Brandon. I don't know if you watched it or we discussed it. I don't know if you've seen it. It is a very odd movie. It's an analogy
It's
of a
downloaded.
movie. It's got a lot in it, right? But it really talks about the separation. Like, Australia in the late 80s went through a real separation between, I guess, England as a whole, like over the top of it, but with religion as well, and like sort of fell out of that loop of being super religious. And like, it exists, and there's people that, you know, there's a lot of churches and all that sort of stuff, but it's just not like crammed down your throat like it is in America. And it's like, I understand that Christianity is different to Catholicism and all that sort of stuff, but like, it is like just force fed. Like,
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it any different?
That we could get into a conversation around faith and spirituality, and they're two very different things, and religion and spirituality, they're very different things as well. But like,
I was raised
and I appreciate
Baptist.
anybody that does.
Yeah, I was raised Baptist. My grandfolks actually ran a Jesus camp
Yeah.
right up the road.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
How does
And
that?
now you're here. Yeah.
Yeah. How does it correlate into your life now? Like, knowing that, like, do you still have family that are very closely connected to that?
Absolutely. We still have Sunday dinner every Sunday, and I have to sit there and listen to him rant on about friggin' fascist bullshit.
That's wonderful.
But it's an incredible test of patience and fortitude for me to have to interact with people that wouldn't necessarily respect me if they knew exactly who I was, and interfacing with that whole thing. And it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. Like, I'm in therapy pretty regularly.
Yeah, I think that's a standard. I think aren't we told that we'll go to jail if we don't go to therapy? Or wait a second, don't get therapy here.
You will go to jail.
It's just a made up thing.
But
it's a made up thing.
Absolutely.
Do you feel, and I think that's an odd one, right? Like, you feel the need to meet them halfway, but they don't feel the need to meet you halfway.
And that's definitely, a lot of that is from the inherent, that Christianity and that capitalism working together. You get this work ethic idea that you need to break yourself like Christ in order to be valued, to be worthy of salvation. Yeah, kind of. And it's this weird Southern Baptist kind of thing.
Is Southern Baptist the one where being alive is a sin and you have to?
No. Southern Baptist. Is it? Jesus,
it all depends on who you ask, but obviously, Southern Baptist is it's heavy emphasis on baptism as
yes,
a piece of salvation.
Did you see that video of that?
I've seen the video. The guy in the water.
Yeah. It's like my favorite thing. I literally watch it on, like, every time it comes up, I watch it all the way through.
No, I was going to ask Ryan. The name of the band is obviously part of that. Your life,
yeah,
your
it was
choice,
actually it was from a poem I wrote in my teenage years. It was a poem I wrote, and it was all about like my loss of faith and just deconstructing all of that, kind of those issues. And it's still something that's ongoing, but it started back when I was quite young. I started kind of seeing the bullshit in the whole process.
If you don't mind me asking, just for demographics here, how old are you, Ryan?
I am 33 years old.
Okay, cool. So we're all in the. So I'm the old man out of this whole fucking thing. I'm turning 39 this year in October.
Yeah, we're still in our mid 30s. All right,
yeah,
we're going to take mid 30s to the.
And I wouldn't judge a younger person if they were here, but it would actually make it a stronger argument. I think that it would be great if younger people were out there, because I have to say, at the protest that I went to today, I cannot tell you how many old people I saw. Like 55 and older was a huge demographic, which is very surprising for us, because
that is cool.
There wasn't any boomers, quite boomers. Well, I guess they were boomers.
Yeah, but I read a thing that people have realized they were lied to, and like it happens every generation. You get to a point where you realize everything you've been working towards you've been told, like all the lies you've been fed and told.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, lies is the wrong word. Stories you've been fed and told won't
Fabrications.
come true. Yes,
Manipulations.
won't
Anybody
come
that
true,
tells
and then
me
you get
that's
to a point.
slightly not true, I automatically say it's a lie.
Yeah, exactly, right? But then you get to a point where you realize everything you've been working towards is a lie, and then you become jaded, and then you say fuck everything, and then start revolting against the system, right? Because you're like, oh, well, I've given up all of this. I've given up my youth, essentially.
Well, it's the stages of grief, right? You start running the stages of grief.
Exactly.
I listened to a guy named Shahid Bolson, and he's a Muslim man. I don't know if he's Canadian or where he originates from, but he's kind of like a intellectual speaker. He's just describing on this last one that I watched, he's describing how he doesn't think that America will have a civil war or a revolt because more people in America are kind of like your Netflix and it'll be fine and don't see anything here, like the very much the they live type of scenario. And I partly agree with him. Kind of that's the thing that scares me the most.
Apathy is truly like the scariest thing.
Yeah, I could not tell you of a more apathetic people than a lot of Americans.
We're all burnt out. We're just
that's
burnt
the goal,
out
right?
and frayed.
I think
like
that's
just
the
fried.
goal. I think that's the goal. And like apathy is a really strong emotion, but I think more than apathy is there's no reason to get involved. Like in Australia, we're going to go to politics, so I apologize. But in Australia, you have to vote. It's a legal requirement. If you're 18, you have to vote. Otherwise, you get a fine. That's the other thing. In like, yeah, look, I don't know. Like, no, why? You don't get to be.
Oh my god,
I don't want to just sit here and say Australia fucking rules because we got our own problems,
fucking
right?
sounds like it sounds like little America with good fucking tweaks. What sounds
like I've been looking at like places, and it's like, all right, Ireland looks really cool. Australia looks pretty tight. Like,
yeah. Look, we don't get a lot of snow here. I guess you're used to snow. We don't get a lot of snow. It's hot as fuck, though. Like, that's probably something you have to deal with.
See, the only thing is I'm not a heat guy.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I spent all of my fucking life.
Oh, yeah.
You're not a concentration camp guy? Was that what you were going to say? I'm just not one of those concentration camp guys.
That would also be
it doesn't really fit me.
Insane mathcore song.
Yeah,
a title for an absolutely insane mathcore song.
Yeah.
I think it's on the horizon.
Just the intro is just dissident chords, just like boom. Yeah. We've already written the song. Look, Australia's got its own problems, but I think, and I was telling other people that, like, I've said this a few times, and people sort of give me a blank stare when I say it, but like, it's really Australian to punch up. Like, we don't let anyone. Like,
that's good.
Or we'll pull you down, right? Like, it's not the best thing because, like, we pull everyone down. It's a bit like the tall poppy syndrome, right? But, like, I think punching up is punching up is a very Australian thing. And, like, we'll tell politicians to get fucked, and, like, people have thrown, like, pies at, and we also don't have the, like, threat of being shot all the time, right? Like, I think that's probably part of it as well. Like, we don't have the looming. I was in Wisconsin, obviously, for Adepticon, and I was walking on someone's lawn, and one of the guys I was with was like, "Oh, be careful, it's a stand your ground state." I was like, what the fuck is a stand your ground state? And he's like, oh, they can like shoot you if you're on your property. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys talking? Is this Escape from New York? What is happening right now? Like,
you know, honestly, here. So let me say this one quick. First of all, thank you for making it more depressing to be an American.
Sorry. I'm sitting here just toting my freedom.
Yeah. You know what's fucking awesome here is like fucking free healthcare, bro. Like,
yeah. If I get hit by a car, I don't have to. I'm not $100,000 in debt. Fuck you guys.
And you know what? You're 10 times sexier because of it. I'm willing to get a green card to be able to get there. Yeah, it's the fucking sun. That thing that kills everything under it. Yeah, no. The problem with America is the fact that it very much praises celebrity, and also if you're a celebrity, you better be a Christian, and if you're not a Christian, you better be of another faith that we like, or we'll have problems with it.
There's a few, only a few though. Yeah,
of course.
And, it's a pretty wild margin.
Differences in being Australian and being American. Everything does feel very different. Like it. I don't want to again rub into people's face. It's just oppressive being here. Like a good example. You turn the TV on. You're getting an ad about you can't get an erection, so you have to take this tablet. And then it also might make you shit your pants.
I love where this is fucking going.
But like,
please, you
that
made
doesn't
Golden
exist.
TV.
That doesn't exist in Australia.
Everything's
Like,
overstimulating. Everything is wow.
It is.
Boom, bam, greatest, brightest,
Exactly.
flashiest.
I was
like,
fried. Like I was,
Yeah.
and like
for sure.
I was in Walmart. Again, that's a whole different story. I was getting something from Walmart, and this guy came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you want to buy this phone plan?" And I'm like, "No, man, I don't live here." And he's like, "Yeah, but do you want to buy the phone plan?" I'm like, "I don't know how to tell you that I don't live here any other way." But like in Australia, you can go to the shops without being bombarded with like 10 other things at the same time. Like you can go to the shops and buy your groceries and not have some guy trying to sell you something like that. To your point about it being overstimulating, it's just like, no wonder everyone is apathetic. You go outside your door and you're just bombarded nonstop.
The entire world is
$20
TikTok
and you
all
get
the
bombarded.
time.
Yes.
Yeah, like the whole world is TikTok all the time. It's always been like that. That's the reason why America has so many viewers and listeners, and to include me, because unfortunately I'm part of that problem. Shit, I fucking made many claims that I was going to get rid of my Instagram, but then I started reaching more people and it sucks because it's so fucking impressive all the fucking time.
Yeah,
and I get why
odd.
people don't want to pay attention to it whatsoever. Just to rope us back in, and we'll, I'm sure, get on politics again here shortly. But Ryan, you said that you don't know much about D&D, Warhammer, stuff like that. What is your, and you can be brief, it's fine. What is the image in your head that comes whenever you're thinking about that type of stuff?
The image that pops into my head when I think of that stuff. I think of a castle with like a dragon kind of like wrapped around it. And I picture like dice with like all kinds of weird shapes and like a mat with like some weird shit on it, like that kind of deal.
That's fucking awesome.
You've nailed it. I think you've pretty much nailed the vibe.
I think actually that should be placed on some kind of award, like under the Dice Fest.
Sweet.
So what's really funny, and the reason why I connected with this world so much is way back in the day, I was a part of a band, and for like 3 or 4 years, and it's the same type of, like many years later, same type of vibe that you get from being in a band or being in a scene during those years of your life. This feels like a punk rock scene that's about painting instead of music, but also music.
Yeah. Do you you guys all listen to hardcore and punk, right? Do you remember when you went to like your first like floor show or your first house show when you were a teenager? That's what the 28 scene feels like right now.
I have actually a very interesting kind of like childhood experiences and stuff like that, like living in the middle of nowhere and not really having much of a scene or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
The scene was kind of like before I was in high school, and then there was like kind of nothing after.
Yeah.
So it was like
it died down.
But
we all got jobs and fucking our lives were ruined. That's the reason why.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I think tabletop gaming for everyone that's in their 30s now is like when you see someone's cool model is like when you first heard, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to throw a record out there, like Hot Damn by Every Time I Die. Like, do you remember when you heard that album? Like, or I don't know, something else. The Chariot, something from The Chariot, Norma Jean, something like those.
Yeah, I think that I love The Chariot. And Ryan T over here made me feel the same thing that I got from lead singer. Fucking what is his name? Josh Scoggins. That I didn't realize that I put The Chariot so far back in my head, and then whenever I had heard Chapel Fire, I was like, it's the voice that does it for me, which is a high praise. I'm not trying to suck your dick. I could. But yeah, it's, I think Every Time I Die, Drag the Lake was probably one of the most influential, or what the fuck is the name of it?
Floater.
Yeah, Floater is probably one of the most influential things, definitely at my music at that time, and probably my entire life, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. I think...
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, that's what this scene feels like now, is everyone's making zines, everyone's making flyers. Like, I think it feels very early 2000s punk rock.
Well,
and
everything's cyclical, right? It all comes back around.
20 years later, man. It's 20 years. That's
absolutely.
I was listening
and
to
we're doing,
Yeah, we're doing podcasts. I saw Comeback Kid Wake the Dead. It was 20 years old the other month.
Shit.
And I was like, that means I'm 20 years older. And was like, fuck, I'm old now. And then like I took my son to a punk show and like, I'm now the old guy standing at the back. We are
But we're
20 years
not.
older.
No, I mean that's not that
mentally.
big of a fucking deal. Here's my
Physically,
30
thing.
is the new
physically,
20, right?
All right, think about this. Think about whenever our parents gave up. Our parents gave up 3 years after they had us. They gave
Yeah.
up, right?
Yeah.
They're like, at least in America, everybody's wife was buying their husband's clothes every fucking week. It was like, you are going to be a fucking box cutter individual and you have no personality, and if you do, it better be church and it better be football.
Mhm.
That's very much what
I
it was
couldn't
like.
take that shit.
And it was dog shit. And it was the same thing.
Horrible.
Now, 20 years later, they're like being nostalgic about the 90s again. And we're in this fucking, this,
There was some good to the 90s. 90s had
it
some
was
good
great,
things.
great things in
didn't
the
have a lot-
90s, but we also
yeah.
had,
For sure.
we also had a lot of gripes and complaints back in the 90s too.
Correct. Yeah, I think
Always
yeah,
gripes and complaints, though.
Yeah, there
exactly.
always is.
You
I mean,
gripe and complain when you're there, but then you think back about it nicely, and you're like, "Oh,
Well,
I was actually yeah."
Well,
Yeah.
the brain's really good at like defending itself from stuff it doesn't like, so it like gives you nostalgia to be like, well, you weren't actually abused that horribly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You know why?
You
Because
know.
Rocco's Modern Life was on, and it didn't fucking matter that your dad
Good
was
show.
sticking his finger there. Okay? Sorry.
Lord.
I'm sorry. I had to do that one off-color joke.
You had to do it.
All right.
I'm going to ask Ryan a music question.
You're running
Chapter
the show
5.
anyway, so
I'm just taking over. I'm
I'm letting you take it over as producer, honestly.
I've seen a bunch of the reels. Let's go. Let's take a step back. What's the inspiration?
It's kind of funny actually, because inspiration, so much of it is
Fuck you.
my entire
Jason.
philosophy is basically when the muse finds you, it'll find you hard at work.
Yes.
So I just keep working and things kind of fall into place. So like one Christmas, my parents got me a GoPro and I'm like, thank you so much. This is a fantastic camera. What the fuck am I going to do with it? I don't like do action sports. I'm not going to be doing backflips with it or some shit. So like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And I saw some videos of some bluegrass bands, actually, this bluegrass jam band that hooked up the GoPro to their instruments. And so I was like, why don't I do that with my guitar? And started doing it that way. And so that's kind of like the inspiration for the whole Reels thing.
I mean, it's a fucking badass
They do go
thing to
hard.
do anyways. It gets like the impact that those videos make for your music. I visualize them every single time I listen to it just while it's on the Bluetooth speaker back there.
Everything nowadays needs the visual element because like there's no Instagram for music. Like you can't just like post like, hey, here's a clip of something I did. You know what I mean? You can't just like SoundCloud maybe, but like, I don't know. It needs the visual element to kind of get it to work. And so that was like the only thing I could really do was I can't really animate. I can't like, it would take me forever to put videos together, but I can like play my stuff pretty well most of the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, that's
I don't know
amazing.
if it was intentional, but it definitely has the vibe of someone getting mad inside their house. I don't know if that was the intentional vibe.
Yeah, that's kind of
it or
intentional.
not.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
And
good.
the decor too is very Midwestern chic that I'm used to. So it kind of pulled me
when my
in.
grandma died, my mom kind of took over and she took all the charm out of it. But
that sucks.
It's definitely got the raging against previous generations vibe.
Don't Christians always do that? Just shake the joy.
Yeah,
no, I'm
absolutely.
joking. You know what? I'm glad that we are abused by religion. We can make a better society of people.
I would. Yeah,
it
that
made
is
me
an
really
isolated
angry
take.
and really funny. So
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Is like it does a lot of really good stuff, right? Like I don't think that I would have. There was a glimmer of me talking about painting a miniature for the first time and laughing at myself in my head going, you're not going to fucking do that, you pussy. And and like now it feels like the greatest thing ever on the planet. I mean, it's like it's my church.
I think surviving out of spite and doing stuff out of spite is a really good motivator. I don't know. Most people don't agree with that, and it's hard. But I think
it's a very.
It's. I think spite covers me for all the periods that gratitude doesn't.
Correct. Yeah,
because you kind of need to have a mixed bag of tricks. It gets you. It's like the nitrous oxide. It gets you through the friggin' finish line.
When I'm like training, I'm like, I hate being fat, so I'm just gonna hate myself a little bit. And then when I'm like super motivated, I don't have to think about it. I can.
But
this guy, you're gonna hate yourself.
He's probably gonna think why did this have to go into fat shaming yourself, Jackson?
The only person I'm allowed to fat shame is myself.
Free therapist. You're supposed to save those for your free.
Yeah. Body positivity doesn't mean I have to be positive about my body. All right, that's how it works. I can hate myself.
That's another Aussieism.
It is
brought to you by our news segment and Aussieism that I'm going to now text Hollow Bodies every week. That I'm
you can go for it. I can give you I can give you a fun saying. I can just say cunt back to you. I'm seriously going
to do this from now on. Every single one. I have Particulate X on next.
Sean. But yes.
So hey, I wanted to get back, Ryan T, to what do you think? He mentioned Jackson mentioned earlier a convention called Adepticon. What do you think that sounds like? The look on your face is priceless.
Adepticon?
Adepticon. It's the thing that he traveled to our dangerous states of tyranny and death.
Yeah. Specifically for.
So is it like a tabletop game convention where they just have like vendors and costumes and all kinds of stuff like that?
New segment is going to be asking Ryan T questions about
gaming,
different conventions and gaming.
And I get it mostly right.
You nailed it.
You nailed it.
It was at Milwaukee this year at the Baird, BAIRD, Baird.
Yeah, next year too.
And next year, and it is like 2 city blocks worth of nerds hanging out, playing conventions. It smells a certain way. It's a lot
for certain people.
If you don't shower, it smells a certain way.
Grimdark Alley is more of like you could go down Grimdark Alley, and you would be okay understanding the body language of these people.
The Husk Boys had a bigger alley this year. It was cool. It was like right tucked in a corner. There was a noise show at one point, so we were like gaming while
what do you think Hive Scum is, Ryan T?
Ryan's like, I hate everything about this. You guys suck.
You motherfucker.
Yeah. No, that was cool. It's very much the punk counterculture part of the hobby.
Well, community is punk. Like anything that brings people together to enjoy things and celebrate is punk.
I think that is the biggest thing people need to do. We're talking about being apathetic. Like community is the biggest thing people need these days. Like
absolutely.
You just need to reach out to someone and be like, "Hey, you doing okay? What's going on?" Like,
do you have a list? Do you have a list of names that you don't
just walk off the edge, like come back from the edge a little bit. Like I think it needs to be. Sorry, 1 second. I'll be back.
No, you're fine. There's sounds like a wild bird that was in the background in Australia in the Great Wilds.
Yes, my wife's going to work. I'm just
Hey, come in here.
You got to get in the camera.
Everybody has to. I mean,
because I don't want to see my background.
Hello.
This is my wife.
How are you?
Katie.
My wife.
Pleased to meet you.
How did you fear for your life in America?
Yeah, ask how you feared for your life in America. Oh, do you want to put the headphones on? Here, you talk. Jump on. There you go.
Did I fear for my life in America?
Yeah. Did you go down the street and go, there's going to be a gun at any second somewhere?
No, I have thought about when I was in there in 2020. I was with Jackson's sisters, and it was kind of like an afterthought, like, oh shit, that's right, you guys carry arms.
Oh yeah.
But
they're pretty terrible. Yeah.
I don't know. It's more like the mental health. Like last year around Hollywood, I was like, I don't know if people are like mentally ill or if they're just like dressed like hip. The only way you could tell is if they had shoes on or not.
Well, I mean,
even sometimes that.
Hollywood. I will say that Hollywood, being there myself, it is a really difficult traffic that comes in and out of Hollywood. Like it is, there's like a lot of wild traffic that goes in and out of the. Yeah.
Like I didn't know if someone had like a mental illness and was talking to themselves, or if they had AirPods in. It was so hard to. The only way you could tell.
It's probably all those opioids that they put into our bodies many years ago. To be honest.
And the prescription meth.
Yeah, the prescription meth.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Oh,
Well,
so
that's how
you're
you can
on
tell,
here
right?
to talk about This is the new Dateline, by the way, in America. This is the new Dateline.
Absolutely.
We're just
this is what you get. This is how
broadcasting to-
far we've devolved.
Just get out
This
while
is-
you can. That's all.
Yeah, no, I wish I could pull that fucking ripcord, but it doesn't
Yeah,
exist.
absolutely.
My best friend lives in Palm Springs, and she likes it.
Yeah,
She
sure.
likes it. It didn't sound like it when you said but
No.
My O is broken. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm working on that.
Palm Springs.
oh no,
Is that Florida?
no, California.
California.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
but-
Okay.
Yeah, I have no interest in coming back.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, it's very difficult to even think about leaving my state right now, much less going to.
Just even like financially, like I know we went to Target. Jackson had already flown over to Milwaukee, wherever, and our son and I were in Hawthorne, about to take the hire car back. We went to Target quickly, and I went to buy something, and I was like, "Hold up, that's the same price. Like it was $3.99 in America, and it was $3.99 in Australia, but it's a product we import. Like, and you guys make less than what we do. I don't understand how anyone is living. It's quite scary.
As all
It's
Aussies
not really what
brought
I'd call living.
Yeah,
as all Aussies,
I don't even know how people are
that
getting
come on
by.
get on this episode. I feel like you guys are. You're very correct, but it's very depressing to hear back read to us.
that it's actually not just you thinking it, that is actually happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, because you want to think that you're dreaming all the time. Anyways, is there any way that I can get you to say "fuck Donald Trump" on the podcast?
He told me he wasn't going to say that, so I don't think I'm allowed to say that.
No,
See?
I'm sorry.
Get in trouble.
He
He
does
wants to be
sound
in
like
trouble.
he does sound like another individual that is in your
I will
area
say
by the
fuck
last
Peter
name of
Dutton.
Dutton.
Yeah, fuck Peter Dutton.
Oh, how can you not say that about Donald Trump? Okay. All right, throw Jackson
because
back.
I can say whatever I want about an Australian, but I would at some point like to be let back in your country. Maybe.
Oh, why?
Depends.
Trust me, you'll
'Cause
be
my
let back
my
in
best friend
if
lives
it's
there.
your best friend lives here and a freaking. You wouldn't come back to a fascist country if you knew it was fascist, would you?
No, but I mean, like, we love Japan, and they don't exactly have a stellar history either, do they? So,
Well, I
do you
don't know.
do?
We can get into world politics here in a second. World politics.
mate, I'll
with-
never end. I've got to go to work. Lovely to see both of
Be
you.
safe. Yeah, nice to meet
Pleasure. Thank you. Have a good day.
Love you. And I'm back. That's my lovely wife.
you. She's fantastic. Yeah,
She's lovely.
Yeah, she's
Thank
a
you.
very nice person.
We met at a hardcore show. So, that's how you know.
I believe it.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my wife was never into the music, but went to Roadburn Festival in Norway with me, or in the Netherlands with me, and she was like lost her mind ever since. So I get that lovely vibe. Right now, we're going to get into a little thing called Kindness Corner. It's something I do often, every episode, actually, where I let a little bit of kindness into the arena. We've already talked about and laughed and joked about other things, but is there anything particular for both of you that has made you not want to jump off a proverbial bridge
I'll let Ryan
within
go
your
first.
hobby or your community,
The Lord
especially?
put me right on the spot.
Yeah,
All right,
He's
so we're talking about
he's a fucking
kindness, huh?
instigator.
We've also been talking a lot about community, and I think it's kind of interesting because I went out last night. I went out to a show with a coworker of mine. It was just kind of like a local thing that was put together in a house, and it was odd for us because we were like way too old to be there. It was like like early 20s kids and stuff, just vibing, doing their thing. But it was interesting to see them vibing and doing their thing, and remembering what it was like to be a kid, and remembering community, and remembering the little kindnesses that kept all of us going. And indeed, it's still little kindnesses that keep us going. It's I don't know. It's just the efforts that we make to see each other.
I think even getting
Right.
this conversation together is an act of that, because
I
you
think
guys
that
may,
they want-
may
they
never
wanna
have
make us hate
messaged
each
each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, absolutely
they
not, but
want,
it's
they
cool.
want you to hate each other. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think they want people to be divided because, like, unfortunately, no, not unfortunately, there's always going to be two sides to a coin. And I think if you don't have two parties, like, but again, confusingly for Australia, for you guys, Liberals in Australia are Republicans. So just remember that when I say this. So it's the other way around. I think if you don't have both parties, you don't get both points of view, regardless of if they are all good points of view or not. I think if you just have one, too much of one, it doesn't work. But like, I think you need to be like, not vilify each other and let them go that all Democrats are evil, all Republicans are evil, or all Labor and Liberal in Australia. Like, you have to learn
skepticism,
that, like,
healthy skepticism.
There
you
should
have to
be
have critical
six.
thinking.
There should be
You have to have
six
critical
or more
parties.
Like, yeah, there should be so many that you can't even count. Honestly, in my opinion, I think that just drives the world. Because I got to tell you, whenever I went to this protest today, all walks of life. Like I don't know if you know who Cory Booker is, Jackson, but Cory Booker made history in America he didn't filibuster, but he basically stood up and talked until for 25 hours. I think it's kind of a sham. It's like, what the fuck ever, it doesn't matter. You don't have to go to work tomorrow anyways.
Performative.
Very performative, very like, he also funded money to go kill brown kids.
I was going to ask what's the stance on him, because he seems very
well, he's a Zionist. He's a $867,000 recipient of Israel, and he made sure to put on his pin right before for the surviving members or the hostages in Israel. Didn't, however, put on a Palestinian flag of 60. So the numbers always get mixed up, and they say like 50,000, blah, blah, blah. There's much more than that. They're
100%.
under fucking rubble. It's like 300,000, fucking, if not more.
But like Cory Booker,
which is even grosser.
All he did was sit there and talk about how he hates Trump.
He fucking talked.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is at the protests, I saw people with those signs, and I talked to Liz, my wife, yesterday, and she's kind of the person that kind of evens me out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Well, what happens whenever he does bring people over? Do you push those people away?" And she's right, because many people that are not engaged, like she, like Liz is, they just want one soundbite that they saw on TikTok to be able to energize them.
Kindness too. If you want to win people over, you have to do it with kindness and meeting them where they're at. Like, and talking about with my folks and my family. Like, yeah, it sucks, but I'm slowly pulling them bit by bit with example. You know what I mean? Like, slowly but surely, they're realizing that like what's going on isn't tenable. And you know what I mean? So like, it comes back to that kindness. And if someone is not as informed as you are, help them.
Yeah, correct. And don't sit there and be like, "Oh, you idiot, you don't understand." And like, I think
that's so easy to do.
Yeah, and that's how. Like, again, I'm left leaning, so this statement is not meant to be like the Democrats lost the election themselves because they pushed everyone that was in the center to the right. They pushed everyone to the right instead of bringing them in. They pushed them to the right, and the right was like, "We'll take you. Don't worry, we'll take you no matter what."
And they're the center. The left in America is the center.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like whenever we say things like AOC and Bernie Sanders that's our furthest left, but they're still, to me,
centrists.
Yeah,
they're global centrists.
Correct. They're global centrists, and you need to bring people in and not make it hard. The barrier of entry needs to be low, and you also, to your point, you need to show them kindness, and they need to be like, "Look, I understand that, like, for the rest of your life, you voted, like, I'm very lucky, like, my parents voted Labor, which is Democrat, so I had that from the start, but some people didn't have that, and, like, they need to be told, it's okay to have voted Republican at one point. You can change your vote, and, like, I think people get really scared of being vilified as well, like, "Oh, I was tribalism." Okay. Yes, it's very much tribalism, and, like, it just needs to be like, "Hey, look, understand that you used to vote Republican. That's fine. Just these are the list of things of why I wouldn't do that. This is why you can vote Democrat." And like, I
have a question.
We're making it hard. Go, me or Ryan?
I have a question for you, Jackson. Well, I mean, both of you, and tell me if I'm wrong, Ryan, if I say this and it doesn't apply to you as well. I feel like I am more resistant. I'm a part of a group called Democratic Socialists of America, and I'm also a part of Tacoma for All, which is an organization that helps out with renters instead of leasers or tenants. That's like my primary job. And my thing is, I think whenever I initially heard bring those disenfranchised Trump people in, my first thought was fuck them, right? And it's very easy to do that in America. I feel like this is the thing that you can correct me on, or correct me if I'm wrong on this, Ryan. But I think it's easier for me to say that in America because of what that site has done for so many years. I know that my British friends say, you know, we had the Tories for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had them for 14 years, and so we get it. This has felt like a lifelong thing. Like, this is ever since I was a fucking kid. You know, and Obama's years weren't fucking great for me either. So, like, so ever since I can think back, the first time I fucking voted was for President Bush burning and bombing brown kids back then over a lie. And now Obama did the same fucking thing. He killed kids without people in the planes.
Deported
He just
people,
fucking
killed kids, did the whole
killed
thing.
kids.
Yeah.
I mean, they did all kinds of things. I can't ever think of a time where we weren't in some kind of conflict.
Well,
I
9/11
can't.
happened and nothing got better. Nothing got better.
It only got worse and more controlling and everything else like that. Anyways, we are in
Absolutely.
kindness corner. I'm
We're
going
in
to cut
kindness
both of
corner.
you off. We're talking
No,
about
no, you're
kindness
good.
to get us away
Yeah.
from the depressing shit.
I'll go what I'm
God damn
kind
it.
of. Yeah, I'll say I'm kind. I think, to your point about Instagram, I think the good thing about Instagram that we need to realize is it connects us. It allows us to communicate with people, and a vast amount of people. I think that we need to realize that we can use those things for good and take what we need out of it and like push that to get what we want out of it. Ryan, go.
The
That's
measure
all
of
you
a tool is how you use it, right?
Running
Like
the
you
show,
can use
everybody.
words to write
Running
Mein
the show.
Kampf, or you can write ecstatic poetry, right? You can
Exactly.
use fire to burn someone's house down, or you can like cook food, a delicious meal for
Yeah.
someone, you know? Like the
Yeah.
measure of a tool is how you use it. And so we
And
need
I think
to
that's
start
what
using
people
these
need to
tools.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to not be disenfranchised and apathetic and go, it's all lost, so I'm just going to go, look, little bit by little bit. You don't have to, like, to your point about your original thought was fuck them if they disenfranchise Trump because, you know, they voted for Trump. But, like, they had to learn that lesson themselves to get there. And it's like
you
anyone
have to
that
learn
initial
that
listens-
lesson
reaction.
at some
I
point, right?
know.
Yeah.
Initial reaction.
I'm
This is not
I'm
therapy for
I'm not
Brandon.
putting you on blast on your own podcast. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that, like,
I know.
I think everyone needs to go, like, look, they did maybe vote them before and they've had to learn that. And, like, it's the same as people that were religious. Like, we, Katie, obviously, you guys just met, and I were friends with a pair of ex-Mormons a couple of years ago. And, like, the conversations with them were wild, right? Like, they were in there from the start and they got out, and they, like, the amount of personal work they had to do to leave the church and leave their family behind. To your point, Ryan,
100%.
about you still go and have family dinners and stuff. Like, at some point you have to go, some people might just have to go, for me to live this thing that I want to live, I have to cut off everyone in my life. And that's massive. Like, that's
Yeah, I think
huge
the
for
only-
people to do.
I think the only difficult thing, man, is, and I agree with you, and I've since come around to that.
Yeah.
I think it's a double-edged sword, though. I think that if you stay, it's good and bad, and if you go, it's good and bad, right?
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
You have to pick
I
your
think
heart.
that it is
Either way,
important
it's
for
hard.
people to talk.
You have to
But
pick your heart.
and
100%.
you have to, well, and you also have to be able to have somebody that is on the opposite of you that's willing to do that as well.
Yes.
Which I think, you know, we always think about ourselves and like what we did wrong and but we also have to think about the other side of things as well, and and come to an intelligent, critical thinking design that I think
Critical
is important.
thinking. That is why they don't want education.
And communication.
Look, I could rant on this for
Communication.
hours.
No, I mean,
Communication
I
and
know.
critical thinking, yeah.
Trust me, I could literally turn this into 6 hours. If anything, Jackson, I'm going to have you on every single episode to
That's
only
fine, cool.
give certain people cues.
Yeah.
Like, all right, your turn.
I'm good. Like, yeah. But
And
I
then
think
Ryan's going to be on in the background saying, I don't know what the fuck is going on in this
Tabletop
episode.
gaming is.
Can you tell me?
Yeah. But I think using art, like using your art, you use your art as a protest piece. Brandon, Ryan, you use your art as a protest piece. And I think protesting gets a bad word because people go, oh, you're protesting. And that is whatever people associate with protesting. But like art is an expression. To your point, Ryan, it's a tool. However you use that tool can be to get someone to see something that they didn't see, or like they see your reel and go, oh, cool. And then they follow something. Or like, I think the biggest thing of people that are very cognizant of where they are is to be able to help people that aren't there understand what they need to do for the next steps. And like begrudgingly, you have to take a step back and go, this isn't about me. It's about helping this person. And like,
And you have
that's
to ask
across
questions.
everything.
Well,
Yeah, you have to ask questions. You have to ask
good art
critically. Sorry.
Good art is a roadmap back to your soul, right? Like, takes you right back there to your humanity, to the essence of what it is to be you.
Yeah, I don't
exactly.
think I'm going to be honest to like everybody out there that listens to this. I don't know that I've ever felt like, since I was in a band, that I would ever have that feeling again. Anybody that can tell you that played in front of a live audience or whatever can explain that feeling, and
It's
it
crazy.
will never come out the way that you won't get it. I don't think you'll fully understand it. And I never really felt like that with this hobby until whenever I first started talking to Chapel Fire with that Jesus piece, and you and me have been in contact, Jackson, for God knows how long. It feels like it's been forever. I think for the first time ever, I think that I know where I'm at, and I want to keep on going in that direction. And I think it only benefits those around me, and I think it's important that everybody out there, my bit of kindness, is stay fucking true to yourself, man. I cannot tell you, as a guy who, whenever I was growing up, I modeled myself after people that liked me or hung around me off of those people because I didn't want them to ever leave. You know, it was very difficult for me to find these friendships and things like that and be the normal kid or whatever. Whenever you have those friends, it really kind of puts things in perspective, but it also kind of hinders you because you can't be your full self. And I think at 37, or maybe even this year, I felt like I finally found myself, like, fully. And I think
Hell yeah.
the good thing what I'm trying to get at is that if you think that something stupid that you're about to do, maybe it's like too much, maybe it's just fucking do it.
Hell yeah.
Unless we're talking about hurting people, don't do that. Talk to somebody.
Oh yeah, no, that's off the table.
Yeah, I'm not saying encouraging violence in certain circumstances, maybe, but yeah, I think that it's
expressing yourself, like,
yeah,
jump into it, like, earnestly, honestly, like, full chest. Jump into
it. It has a way of being shown in several different ways. I show my violence through painting and building, and I think that I can say safely that you guys feel the same way. Most of my feeling going into that type of stuff is the most therapeutic in a way. Like if I put on Thou in the background, which is my favorite band of all time, if I put them on in the background, I could just listen to that for hours, and it's therapeutic to me. But
yeah, I think everyone needs to find their. It's a terrible word, but I'm going to say meditation. It's not the right word for it, but it is like
it's a form. Yeah.
It's a form of meditation.
It's an element of it, for sure.
Correct. Yeah. And you need to find that escapism. And like, for me, it's mini painting, but also for me, I'm going to go run 10Ks, whatever that is in freedom units, 7 miles or something.
That flows.
I'm going to go run 10Ks. Yeah. And I think that back to your point of being unapologetically yourself, I put that content out there. Ryan, for your point of view, I've lost a bunch of weight recently, and a bunch of people reached out and were like, oh, it's crazy that like you're doing it and you motivated me to do it, and like I'm starting to feel better about myself. And it's like, all you have to do is go, everyone else is still figuring it out too. Like you have to, like, I think I said to someone, you have to realize, they were like, oh, I don't really know like how to start or anything. I'm like, man, no one knows what the fuck they're doing.
No.
Like we're all winging it. Like fake it till you make it, man, is massive, right? Like
ask the stupid fucking questions. Ask the stupid fucking questions. Ask me any fucking
reach out
time.
to someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reach out and be like, how do you do that? And every time I've told someone, do this. And just start. Like, don't, like, to your point about, I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. But I can fucking strap a GoPro to my guitar and just fucking start screaming my lungs out. And then you end up, and people go, oh, this is cool. And like, I think people really gravitate to someone that is just like, I'm just going to fuck around and find out upwards. Like, I'm just going to figure it out as I like fail upwards.
Once you figure that out, it really clicks in, because I saw Chapel Fire, you hit this plateau whenever you started showing your shit on TikTok, where not a plateau, it's a mountain now. It's still going fucking up. I mean, you had good music before, but there wasn't that as much of a fan base, right? And then it just clicked.
No. Yeah, honestly, that
'Cause you've been
video
doing this
took
for, like-
off one day.
Yeah, you've been doing this for how long?
I've been really putting it out there solidly for just a couple of years, but I've been making music as
Like,
the
how does that
Chapel
happen?
Fire since 2018.
But how does that fucking happen? Like, I mean, I think people's progression too. I think most of the people's problem out there right now is that they won't even take that first step to reach out. If you take that first step, even if you're socially awkward, you can make it through a conversation to be able to get to the end. I promise you that.
Well, and that comes back to kindness too, though, because you have to be able to receive the conversation.
Exactly.
And without coloring it with your bullshit, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you have to be able to listen and hear that.
I think, Ryan,
gotta be
you
able-
said you had been making people are like, if they don't instantly make it, they're not going to do it. I think I saw a video of yours when you were saying that, or like they're worried to create something because of how it will look or something like that. And like, if you're creating for how someone else thinks about it, you've already lost, essentially, I guess.
You got to do it because it's fun, because you love it, and because you're saying something.
Yeah.
Like,
you're saying what you want to say, however you want to say it, right? Like, I think, I think people get really scared of failing, that failure is bad.
Failing in other people's eyes too.
Yeah, but also
Well,
failure is never bad. Like,
it's
No,
not so
I
much
don't
about like
think so.
failure. Failures, it is about like themselves, like
Yeah.
being known and being rejected.
Yes, rejection. It's not failure; it's rejection. They're two.
It's more
different things.
rejection, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because
So
like, people are more worried about rejection than failure, and
sure.
I think that you need to go. Okay, people will find the authentic me more interesting than this.
They always
mask
do.
that I put on, like, just
They always do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I since we didn't do a graphic before Kindness Corner, usually I bring that up to my producer Barrett. We're gonna go ahead and do one after. Just put the certificate that we got for completing the first international conversation between a New York and Aussie and a Pacific Northwesterner up, and I would like it for it to be on a plaque and then instantly burnt, put it in an urn, and buried at sea.
That's epic. I
I
also
mean,
think New
I'll write a
York
song
and
about
Australia
that.
has a lot. Yeah, I
It's a
think
lot,
Australia
but
and New
we'll
York
see
also
what
have a
we
lot
can
of have a lot of similarities. I think
Yeah,
those,
I got big
every
love
person
for
I've spoken
Australians.
to-
Y'all are freaking crazy, and I love it.
I mean, I can
Yeah.
hop off this. I can hop off
You
this
look,
phone conversation
yeah.
if you
no,
guys
no,
want.
no. I think the point is that like people in New York State and the city, like New York proper and the state, I think you get to the point of you have to tell people to fuck off. And I think that that's
sure.
something different
Most
to the
definitely.
rest of the country. Like, I think
For sure.
every person from that area that I've spoken to it's instantly very similar to Australia. Of that, like, you're not
And-
afraid to tell someone to fuck off. You're not like, yeah.
Kinda
And
have to.
I honestly think that it's kind of like that in the PNW. Most of the time, they just
Yeah.
don't. Most of the time, they just don't talk to you. You can ask them a
Nice.
question, they won't say shit. I cannot tell you how many times that I've looked at somebody and gone, "Hey, I'm sorry," like because I bumped into them, and they just look
Yeah.
straight ahead. It's
They
like the
look past
greatest
you,
fucking
through you.
gift ever. It sounds hateful, and I understand that it's like a communication thing. I grew up in the Midwest of America, so opening the door for somebody, saying thank you, saying you're welcome. I cannot tell you the joy it gives me whenever I say I'm sorry to somebody and they act like it never fucking happened.
Yeah.
They keep their opinions
That is
so
kind of
much
a
to their.
gift, I can see that.
I mean, it's a fucking beautiful thing. Anyways, so there's my new segment, also known as 1-bit, 2-bit, misfit. Little bits of anarchy to sprinkle about your life, even if you can't. Say you're a dad like me and Jackson, Ryan T, possibly. You could be dad.
No,
I'm not sure. I've
not
never
for me.
asked you that question. I'm sure that will happen one day, maybe. I don't know.
I would hope not, but
I would hope not. I totally agree with that statement, and I have no idea why.
thank you, sir.
And so, little bits of anarchy to spread throughout the world. Is there anything that you have for I say anarchy, but anything that you have, politically speaking, for our people that are listening?
You go
As
first,
someone
Jackson,
who comes from
please.
thank you very much. As someone who comes from a country that you have to vote, just fucking get out there and vote. Like, I think the thing that the people that are in power rely on is that you're not going to do something. So I think showing up for something, community is massive. I think supporting your local community is huge. I think getting out there if you can donate to a charity, donate to a charity. Obviously, pick your charities. Something that's not related to the church is always great. You need to do your research. Sorry, everyone, but if you're going to donate to a charity, pick before you fucking do it. And I think just getting amongst it and getting it's very weird. Just getting amongst it, and like, people are scared. It's obviously a very scary time in the States to be a quote unquote protester. To bring it back to your point about being out there today, it's a very scary time. They're cracking down on it, but you can protest in other ways without, putting your face out there. You can shop somewhere else. You can support a small business. There's a bunch of other things you can do that will gunk up the machine that they don't want you to realize. And read a book. Read a fucking book if you want to figure out how to do something.
Talk to an Aussie. Talk to people from other countries.
So just, read a book about how that's been done, because it's been done the same way for hundreds of years, and history repeats itself, to your point, Ryan, about it being circular. Yeah, read a book about how people have done it. There's ways to do it. You just need to, I think voting with your money is a massive one that people don't do.
Oh, yeah. Especially in a capitalist society. I agree.
I don't know if that's what you wanted, but that's my take.
No, Ryan T., you're next on the... actually, you know what? You went first the first time. I'll take a middle spot. Since Jackson is the host of the show, I just got a note from him. He says, talk less. Okay.
Yeah, that was my note. Yeah, that was my producer's note.
Well, since I have to talk less, I will say, ask stupid questions. I will say that every single week. I have irritated people in the past, I'm sure, by asking stupid questions, but I don't give a fuck because I've learned so much from it. Get out there and do something. I think specifically in America, although I totally agree with you, Jackson, I think the people in America do need to get out, and they do need to expose themselves to it. I understand it's painful. I understand it sucks. I go into dark holes, and, I went through a month where even the slight thought about it was detrimental to my health. But eventually get back on board and pay attention, because, to be quite honest, if you don't pay attention, nobody's going to tell you, because most people are scared to tell each other anything about, especially in the PNW. So you get out there and fucking listen. I mean, I cannot tell you the amount of different worlds that came together today at that protest. Mm-hmm. And there's protests that happen all over the United States today. It's the biggest call to action ever in United States history. Let that sit in your fucking head for a little bit. I understand that people, they don't think that protesting works. They're like, we've had protests and it doesn't do anything. Then what the fuck are you doing? Don't blame down, blame up. You need to start with that. And I'm in the most diverse neighborhood that I've ever been in my entire life. And I still got Nazis in my fucking neighborhood. So I promise you, there's somebody around there that deserves the shake of a century. And the only person that's going to help do that is you. You can talk big and bad. I know a ton of people in my past that talk big and bad in the past. Like, they would do this, they would do that. Not once have I seen one of those motherfuckers speak up. Mm-hmm. So I'll be damned if I am falling in the same pattern. If you see something, say something. If it's scary, you got to get over it. I love you, but you got to get over it. If you're going to be a true ally, say something. Mine's a little bit more forceful, kind of like the stern dad approach, kind of like the Midwestern fire and brimstone Baptist, but I need you. I'm still fired up from the fucking protest today. What are you going to ask?
Good.
Yeah. Ryan T., what is your take on a little bit of anarchy?
I'd like to kind of combine your kindness corner segment with your anarchy segment and say that that true anarchy really begins and true revolution begins in the home, and it begins with kindness to yourself, right? So, like, what are the ways in which you guys are treating yourselves with kindness? Because, like, ultimately, like, doing the work, facing your fears, showing up, and doing the damn thing every day is, like, the only way. And the only way, like, healing yourself is the only way you're going to get true and meaningful connection and that true, honest, open communication that we all really so desperately need. So, like, treat yourself with kindness, because if, like, being hard on yourself would have worked, it would have worked by now. So, like...
And if you go too much further, you'll become an incel.
Yeah, right.
But don't become an incel, for the love of God.
We don't need another incel. We don't need more of those.
I think you're right. Like you really need to be kind to yourself, and like
That's where
the
it
world
starts. Yeah.
does suck, but like a lot of
cruel
there's a lot of
people,
beautiful
cruel
people in
people
it.
aren't happy with themselves.
No.
No.
Angry
Yeah.
people can be, so you can do angry, but not cruel.
You can do angry, but cruelty, no way. Fuck that.
I want to say this is one of the only times I've ever gone over an hour. I gambled on having two guests at the same time from opposite sides of the world, and tried to see if it would work. But I know the personalities just fit. I think this has been my, and I'm going to go on the record for saying this. This has been my. I say it a lot right after an episode, but I think this one's going to stick with me forever. I really appreciated having you guys on. I remember whenever I talked to Jackson before about being on, he was real apprehensive because he's like, well, what am I going to fucking talk about? And I'm like, oh, just be your fucking self, you dumb motherfucker. And with Ryan, dude, you and me talk on a weekly basis, like sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. I don't do that with most of my fucking friends, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I really do. I want to get this to happen again. The three of us in the future. I think it's really beneficial, and this has been a more politically driven show. So we may call this little excerpt like once a month. But I want to say thank you to both of you. I know it was a little hectic. Brandon can't count and thinks that one day is another day, and he's a piece of shit. And yes, I talk about myself in the third person.
That's all right.
I sucked at that, so I apologize about that. But I love you both. I think that
Love you too, man.
Much love, brother.
People should reach out to them, ask them questions. These are good people to follow. Do you guys want to give any plugs?
First off, I want to say, Ryan, it was very nice to meet you.
It was a pleasure to meet you, sir.
It's been great to have a chat. It was, hopefully one of many. Plugs, I think I'm not going to do a plug because I exist on the internet just to have fun, but my ending statement is reach out to your friends, check in on your friends. If you're not sure
buddies
on someone,
_13. Hello
That's
buddies
me.
_13.
Fun fact, that was my hardcore Tumblr I had when I was like 17 years old and wanted to be a hardcore show photographer. So I needed to make miniatures, so I used the same name. Yeah. But yeah, I think reach out to your friends, reach out to the people you talk to online, check everyone's okay. Like more now than ever, we need to focus on the people and not anything else. Just reach out, check if someone's okay. Don't think it's weird to be like, hey, are you okay? Like, I think we use big events or we use stuff like that as a reason to check in on people, but just do it every now and then. And then, love yourself. To Ryan's point, that's my 2 shout outs. Ryan, over to you.
Yeah, I don't think I'm really going to do a plug. You can find me at the Chapel Fire. That's kind of how I do, right? But anarchy begins at the home. So practice nonviolence on yourself, right? And be kind, be yourself. And it's a pleasure with you guys. Thank you so much. Really appreciate being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Are the Australians hacking into our systems, trying to take
Maybe.
over our show? Was
Maybe.
Donald Trump right?
Maybe they're trying to take it.
Keep on taking. And by
That's
the
why
way,
you get those tariffs, motherfucker.
Whenever I said that,
exactly. We deserve
I
it.
literally thought about taking the X-Acto knife that I used to clean this model off earlier and jab it straight into my throat whenever I said, was Donald Trump right?
Exactly. As long as
I'm glad that you guys were talking the whole time. This is my version of Trump.
It's a very nice one. It looks exactly
he's got
like
some
him.
loudspeakers on him in the background.
Skewing propaganda.
Hey, you told your wife that you weren't going to talk shit about Donald Trump, but I will say that
I did not talk shit about him.
Well, I know you said that you weren't going to say it, so I will say to everybody to kind of screw that over for Jackson. I will say that in private context, he has told me privately that Donald Trump is the cunt, which I agree.
Blow up our voice spot,
and it's not his fault, so you can't be mad at him. It's my fault, and you can hate me. But come back to my fascist country. What are you going to do? I don't know.
I think it's an inference, but
I know
it is an inference. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah. I'd still like to be able to travel to America at some point.
Yeah, I think that we all would, but I'm pretty sure they're trying to push every other country out. Thank you for taking your time to be here with me, even if it's today off. And I love you very much. And if there's something out there that you want to do, don't ask any fucking questions. Just do it. This has been a sponsorship paid by Nike. Just do it. The only reason why I keep him around is because he giggles at my stuff. I think
it's great. Yeah, I think it's great.
That's the only time.
But much love to both of you, and talk soon.
Hello, this is Barrett from the ATI Podcast, here to talk about the MANIC Compression Group. The various podcasts that make up the MANIC Compression Group include ATI Podcast, Waxing On with R&J, NODNARB'S Closet from EDAW'S, and It's Just Two Movies. The MANIC Compression Group is a voice for the voiceless, a platform for those dream chasers. The various creative arms of the MANIC Compression Group all have one goal in mind, and that is to bring a spotlight to underground artists and amazing artistic works. ATI Podcast, hosted by yours truly, focuses in on interviewing rising artists, content creators, and small businesses. Waxing On with R&J, hosted by brothers Ridge and Jake Jackson, gives love to physical media. It promotes purchasing physical media as a means to support artists, album reviews, details on production and audio quality on various formats, all with the end goal in mind to give some love to some amazing artists. Outside of the physical media love, you're going to get reviews on recent concert viewing experiences, as well as local show calendars. NODNARB'S Closet focuses in on miniature painting, the D&D world, role-play games, as well as various niches in the hobbies of 40k Warhammer, Dungeons & Dragons, and tabletop RPGs. Led by Brandon Stuart of EDAW'S, NODNARB'S Closet brings attention to the many talented people involved in the hobby. It's Just Two Movies, hosted by Danny King in a rotating guest panel, covers just that, two movies. One critically acclaimed or favorably viewed, and a secondary movie probably not good, but the hope is that it is so bad that it's entertaining. Sit back, enjoy some libations to the velvety tones of Danny King and guests, with an injection of jocularity and improv comedy. The MANIC Compression Group can be found across all podcasting platforms, but the full experience can always be enjoyed on YouTube. We thank you all. Stay safe out there.